the trial was always going to be a phased approach to implementation, and we always said would work with industry and sector to make sure it can be implemented in a safe and sensible way. So from the first...
That was Victoria's Gaming and Casino Minister Enver Erdogan speaking in the Legislative Council on August 26 on Victoria's carded play trial, which has launched as of this month. Despite often being touted as a 3-month trial lasting from the start of September all the way to the end of November across the 43 venues, documents that I've seen have shown that this isn't true at all. It appears to only be 2 months or even less, with a phased approach across venues across the 3 LGAs. You may have seen my reporting recently on how the Alliance for Gambling Reform and Monash Council have since withdrawn their support for the trial over fears that the timelines were unclear and that mandatory pre-commitment or loss limits were not on the table for the trial. After asking what I believe to be a pretty innocuous question of the Alliance's Director of Policy, Rebecca Patterson, earlier this week, I discovered another chink in the armour of the government's trial. So this is a Victorian government direction given by the Casino and Gaming Minister last month to amend the Gambling Regulation Act to apply to a number of pubs and clubs during October. However, you will notice it says October. When I was looking at this, I expected it to say September, because I believe, as one would expect, that the directions for the carded play system to be in place during the trial would start in the first month of the trial. It starts with one hotel, that being the Clayton Hotel, on October 1, then adds another 4 on the 2nd of October, and then adds in all of Greater Dandenong's venues and all of Monash's venues on October 6, and then lastly gets all 43 venues up and running on and from October 7, all the way to the end of November. Now, according to a Victorian government spokesperson, this is part of their phased approach to do with the trial. Now, it's my understanding that the Department of Justice and Community Safety will spend all of September across the 43 participating venues notifying gamblers about the changes, preparing venues and their staffs for how to organise new accounts for people, and notifying punters on how their data will be collected. However, with all this work occurring before any carded play trialling launches in October, the Alliance is asking for the government to clearly and publicly define how it will be evaluating the data it receives, especially considering it is a month or more short of the original promised timeframe.